Hello to everybody, it's me Ghost Critic. It's Thursday, it's Retro Comic Rewind. And if you're new here, this is the first video you've seen of mine, you're probably wondering, what's Retro Comic Rewind all about? Well, I basically review a comic that you pick. How do you pick a comic from all my long boxes? I hear you cry. Well, listen closely. To have the chance of me picking you out at random from the comments section below, all you have to do is watch this video and comment on it, then pick a letter of the alphabet. That is your first step. Once you've picked a letter of the alphabet and I have chosen from whoever puts that letter down, I will then ask you for a number between 1 and however many comic books that I have that begin with that letter. This week's issue was picked by Travis Edwards. I don't believe he actually does any videos, but he comments on, watches a lot of my videos, and for that I'm so appreciative of. Thank you for your loyalty, I guess. Thank you very much. I'm glad you're enjoying and participating along the way. So he picked the letter T and the number 19. So we're going back to October 2007 with volume 3 of Thor, issue number 2. Now I have actually already reviewed the first kind of story arc that this contains in one of the Ultimate graphic novel collections series that I've been doing. I'll put a link to that in the description bar below if you want to hear the whole story arc and what I thought of it. But this video will primarily be looking briefly at Thor issue 2. And this was reading it again and on its own as well. It really felt kind of sentimental, melancholic. There were moments of laughter and, you know, hilarity, but it was quite a sad opening for a second issue. What we have is Donald Blake, who has gone out to the kind of Oklahoma flatlands and decided to take up residence as a doctor in this small kind of town. It's one of those towns where kind of everyone knows each other, everyone knows each other's business, everyone's very much a community spirit. And that is kind of juxtapositioned with what comes on further in the issue. What we have is Thor basically, you know, using his hammer, creating a big portal in the sky, brings Asgard down to Earth in the middle of the flatlands. Which obviously causes a little bit of a stir in this nearby town, and a pair of cops come hurtling down, giving Thor a bit of a hard time. You know, you can't just land this on this land. It's private property, and you just have this funny moment of these two kind of hick cops facing up to the mighty Thor. Just the visuals itself brings a huge smile and a lot of laughter. So Thor does a little bit of kind of trickery and makes Asgard basically hover over the land. So he's not actually on the land. Of course, that's still not good enough. And he ends up buying the land from the owner. Another little kind of fun part is that Thor takes him to kind of the treasury room of Asgard, which is like piled high with gold and jewels, and just says, basically, take how much you can carry and then be gone, the land is mine. The night kind of draws in, and this is the moment that Thor kind of is like, I'm actually on my own here. There are no other Asgardians here in his city. He doesn't know where they all are, and he remembers something that Donald Blake said when he was in the Void, where he's been for the time between Volume 2 and Volume 3, basically. And his task then is to go out into the world to find all the rest of his fellow Asgardians whose kind of spirit, whose essence are currently residing in mortals. And there's like really kind of sweet bits when they realise he's up there on his own. They decide, you know, come on, this is basically our new neighbour, let's go over and make him feel welcome. And it was just these kind of like small heartwarming moments that really kind of lifted this. And while this book is, obviously it's Thor, so it's the god of thunder, we're talking about gods, it was nice to see that human element as well to the issue. Written by J. Michael Straczynski, and he does a great job. Artwork by Oliver Coipel. Nice work, though I always found Coipel, I'm sure he was going for kind of the big muscles, but to be honest, Thor just kind of looks a bit podgy. But it's still really nice artwork. It's kind of clean, crisp. There's not much kind of edginess to it. It's your typical superhero artwork. But top choice. Really enjoyed this issue to reread it just on its own, because there are that times where you can read a whole story arc all in one go and you kind of miss parts because you want to get on to the next bit, you know, whether it's a cliffhanger or it's, oh god, what's going to happen next, that you miss things like the humanity that Straczynski wrote into just this title alone. So that is my kind of overview of Thor issue 2 from volume 3. It's up to you again. Like I said, put some comments about what you thought. Have you read this? Have you liked it? Is it something you'd like to read? Thor wasn't, again, it was one of those books that I'd never actually picked up as a run on a pull list. I've got a few back issues here and there that I've picked up along the way, and when this new issue 1 came out back in 2007, I thought, okay, we'll give Thor a try, I'll jump onto it. And I did until they renumbered it back to, I think they were ready because there was an issue 500 coming up, so they renumbered them back to the original and made it an issue 500, and I kind of dropped off from there. So, in the comment box below, comment on this video and give me a letter of the alphabet. By the way, do not pick the letter Q. I don't own any comics beginning with Q. Till next week, look forward to your recommendations. Bye bye.